117 viewing already. There you go. Move to your right. Scoot the chair to the right. All the way over if you can. Come on. All right. Good evening, good morning, whenever you are watching. We are excited to be here. I am David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper, and my wife.
I'm the backyard herbalist, Mrs. LDS Prepper.
All right. It has been a crazy busy day today, and we are glad that you are here with us. We see there's lots of conversations going on in the chat already. It is very, very important. If you have a question, we will address all the questions that are in bold and all capital. So please, if you have a question, we are going to we're not looking at the lower cap letters. We're going to lowercase letters. We're going to be only looking at all capitals. If you have a question, we had some people upset because we didn't get the questions answered last time, and they didn't put the questions all in caps. So if you want us to see your question, I see some of them here. Please put them in caps, and it is our goal to get through all the questions and all the information this evening. It looks like we may be having a little buffering issue, so if so, hopefully that doesn't become too big of a problem. I don't know why it is. We got Wi-Fi here. At any rate, so good to have you here. If you do have a question, please write it in all caps in the chat, and we will get to those questions at the end of the presentation. We have a lot of information, and I am going to move us up out of the way here, up over here, and hopefully that keeps us in the frame so you guys can see the presentation also. All right, so what to do today to prepare for the coming grid power cyber, or the grid power, or the power grid cyber attack. I had someone I was talking to the other day said, so when is it going to happen? I said, well, it's going to happen Tuesday at 3. No, I have no idea when it's going to happen. And it doesn't make any difference when it happens if you're prepared. So my wife and I were talking about this presentation. I said, can you please talk about when we were without power for 2 weeks in Houston after Hurricane Ike? And you said?
Remind me. What did I say?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
And why do you not remember?
It wasn't a crisis for us. Life just continued normal for us because we were prepared. And
that is, from our home to your home, our goal to help you achieve that, whatever the crisis may be. Tonight we're talking about when the power grid goes down and what's it like to live without power for an extended period of time. So let's see if we can remember. When have we lived without power? Do you remember?
Our first experience was probably back in 1989. We were living in the foothills of Northern California. We got hit with a snowstorm, which was very unusual for the area that we lived in. Dropped, a couple of feet of snow overnight.
A lot of snow.
Lost power. We were living in a like a 2 or 3 story. I mean, the living room was vaulted, couple of stories, great big windows overlooking the North American Canyon, stunning views, but all the heat in the house went to the ceiling and we were cold.
100% electric house.
Yeah. And so we partitioned off the dining room and kitchen area with blankets and set up the kerosene heater. And we use that for heat. I use that for cooking. And so I just kept a pot of hot water there for hot chocolate and a pot of hot soup. And was it 3 or 4 days? I was homeschooling the kids at the time. We canceled school. They went playing in the snow, sledding. What, you did that with them?
We had a lot of fun. We didn't make it a scary experience for our kids because it wasn't a scary experience. However, I was buying kerosene for the kerosene heater in 55-gallon drums. So when the lights went out, we had kerosene for our heater. All right. Our bishop then used to sell kerosene by the drums, and so we had a lot of it. Let me just turn off my volume here. Let's see, right here. Okay. The volume's supposed to be off. How come the volume's supposed to... Sorry. So what we basically did, like this picture shows, is we camped out. Is that when... Now, that wasn't when we wrapped the refrigerator with the blankets, was that?
No, that was after the Loma Prieta earthquake. I guess that was before we moved.
It's okay. At your age, you're allowed some date discrepancies.
Yeah, so the Loma Prieta earthquake, we lost power for several days, 4 or 5 days, and experienced aftershocks in the 5-point, 6-point range, which are substantial earthquakes in and of themselves. We lost power, so we put a heavy quilt over the refrigerator to try and insulate it to keep our food from going bad as fast. We forced our kids to eat ice cream for breakfast.
It was awful. There was no revolt, though.
No.
Again, they thought it was great fun. I remember specifically about that one that we got to know our neighbors. There was nothing to do. There's no communications. This is before the internet, and so we all kind of went outside and sat on our lawns and got to know our neighbors. In winter, it's a completely different situation. When the first experience she was talking about, we had a millionaire neighbor living next to us in a big, gorgeous home. The home that we were in, we were renting. It was way above our income level, but it was what was available then. Beautiful home. But I think on the second day, he came over, timidly knocked on my front door, and asked me if I could teach him how to start a fire. They had been there for 24 hours, longer than 24 hours, no electricity, no light, no water, nothing.
No heat.
No heat, and shivering.
In a blizzard.
Yeah. And I felt so bad that I hadn't thought about my neighbor. I will not make that mistake again. And that's one of the things that spurred me on to making this YouTube channel is we're well prepared, but we're trying to help others get prepared. So then the longest time we've been without electricity was in Houston.
That was, 2008? Hurricane Ike. We got hit with the dirty side of the hurricane, lost power for 2 weeks. Friends of ours living a little bit more remotely were without power for a whole month or longer. But again, we were prepared, so life went on pretty much as normal, except Dave and our son, our youngest, took off for Galveston to help people muck out their homes and those people who had homes left.
Yeah.
And help with the cleanup.
So we have been without power because of snowstorms, because of hurricanes, because of earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're talking about the cyber attack, I don't know that it's going to be much different, except for one item, which we will discuss here in a moment. But before we go there, I'd like to have my wife explain what YOYO means.
So when we lived in, what was it, Gig Harbor, Washington, I got asked to join the local preparedness organization. It was called the Peninsula's Emergency Preparedness Committee, Pepsi for short, kind of a fun acronym, play on the soft drink. So I was involved with that for quite a few years, helped them develop a website. And one of the things that we taught the community was this concept of yo-yo. And that is, you're on your own in the aftermath of a natural disaster, such as an earthquake or a hurricane or a tornado. A lot of people think that FEMA is going to rush in, or the Red Cross is going to rush in and provide food and water and shelter and clothing if you need it. And that's not been our experience. In Houston, one FEMA truck showed up
10 days after the hurricane came through, after we lost electricity. 10 days, a week and a half.
And the supplies that they brought were far insufficient for any kind of help. Only those who happened to see the truck come in and see what was going on got to take advantage of the water. And was it food?
It was ice in a meal. Yeah, cold meal.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you are on your own in the aftermath of a natural disaster. And that's what you need to prepare for.
Yep.
You need to think through that. So one of the things that we did in the Pepsi committee was kind of these tabletop exercises. An earthquake happens, what's the scenario like? What's life like? What do you need to do to be prepared for that?
So I'm just wanting to make sure that we're still working here, that we're still live. So if we're still live, can you just say live in the chat or something like that? Because my display looks different than what I think I'm showing. Because I'm supposed to be showing yo-yo, and it's not showing yo-yo.
No.
Right? So let's make sure we get this right here. Sorry, I want to make sure that, I've got all these slides here. I want to make sure that you see it. Okay, so we're live, okay. And I just got to wait, hopefully, for the slideshow to show up. Or maybe I have to do it over this. Maybe I have to do it that way. Sorry, this is really important information. I don't want you to miss out on this, so just got to make sure that you're seeing the slides, because I'm not seeing that on my phone. All right, we'll give this a second to catch up. So they're both on yo-yo, okay. And now it's long-term camping. And now let's talk about what stops working when it... Is that... Okay, PowerPoint. Oh, this is, and that's showing. I'm really sorry, it's the PowerPoint, cyber attack. Okay, and there's another PowerPoint here. Oh, okay. Hopefully that's the right one. It just changed on my screen. Count to 20 and hopefully it shows up there. All right, so what's going to happen when the power grid goes down? And we're speaking from personal experience. Connecting. Let's see if it catches up.
So what stops working when the power grid goes down?
And there's YOYO.
Everything that is electric in your home. Okay, they're seeing YOYO now.
Yeah. So I apologize very, very much. We have so much information we got to get through here, and it's me dinking around with this, so it's not working right. Okay, so we can pull this over. Does that help? Hope you can still hear us. Okay, I appreciate the feedback. Apologize for the delay. And it should, okay. I think we got it. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn. So what goes down when the grid goes down? Well, everything that's electric in your house is going to go down. It's going to stop working. Your cell phone towers are going to go down. They only last until the diesel runs out and they can't, keep powering the phone towers. We experienced this in Texas. Gas pumps went down. Natural gas may or may not be available. We'll talk about propane here in a moment. Cash registers. You won't be able to buy food. What was the name of the store?
HEB?
HEB around the corner. Locked the doors because they could not run the cash registers. All the food in HEB that was in the coolers went bad. You could smell it. Okay, it was 14 days with no electricity. You won't be able to get money out of banks and so forth. We'll talk about this. The internet. What about getting water and employment? For 2 weeks in Houston, nobody went to work because there was no electricity. So let's move forward here and talk about each of these items individually. Below this video, I have put all of these links. So you'll see links highlighted in this presentation. I'm trying to provide solutions for you so you can get prepared. So look at in the description box, all of the links are down below this video. All right, all the electronics in your home, your refrigerator. Our neighbors in our cul-de-sac in Houston, the first day we had a generator. So I went over to my neighbor's house and I said, "Would you like an extension cord?" They all said no. Someone will turn the power back on. Every one of them, 4 out of the 5, because the 5th one left. They packed up and they just left. The second day, would you like an extension cord? No, the power's going to come back. I'm sure someone's going to save us. Right? It's somebody. They didn't realize YOYO. Okay. They did not realize YOYO. They were waiting for someone to take care of them. That's the wrong attitude. Third day, no one took an extension cord. We're running our house. Our son's having parties at our house. They're playing Halo in the media room, and
watching movies.
Things are normal. Watching movies, okay. And I turned the generator off at, I think it was 10 o'clock every night, and then they'd all leave and go play out in the puddles and so forth. The fourth day, after all of the food, thousands of dollars in groceries in our 4 neighbors' homes, all spoiled, they all took an extension cord. They realized, that normalcy bias kind of went away, and they realized, hey, I don't know how long we're going to be into this. We were into this for 14 days straight with no electricity. By then, they had lost all their food. So your refrigerator's not going to work. Your freezer's not going to work. I mean, we wrapped our refrigerator with our first experience with the earthquake and losing power, but we knew that was only going to last for a day or two. Wrapping refrigerators at most 48 hours, until things are going to start melting inside in the freezer. Your air conditioning is not going to work. Your furnace isn't going to work. You really need to get a wood stove. We'll talk about that. That's very, very important. We have 2 wood stoves. It's one of the things we did here in this house. We have propane furnace to heat the house. We're off-grid solar, and so we have cadet wall heaters. That's the second way to heat the house. Still have that same kerosene heater that provided us warmth and comfort and light
and food,
and because we were able to cook on it. We still have that, and I still am storing kerosene. And then we have wood-burning stove upstairs and downstairs, and I have 4 years supply of cut and split wood on premise. Premise?
On site?
On site. Okay? So you want to have it in hand. Now, I have links to, so wood stove, we'll talk about that. Medical devices, you're going to need something to power that. If your life depends on your CPAP machine or something else, you'll need to power that. And we'll talk about power sources here in a moment. My concern with the technology right now is that when the cyber attack comes, whether it's a false flag, whether it's from a different country, whether it's a surge from a coronal mass ejection, whatever it is, my biggest concern is that there will be a huge surge that comes through the lines. Now, anything in your house that is plugged in will probably, any of the electronics will millisecond. So that's why I recommend the whole house protection from EMP Shield. Go to ldsprepper.com/EMP Shield, and that will give you a $50 discount off of each item. You need one EMP Shield for your entire house. That's all you need is one. If you're concerned about lightning strikes or an EMP, then also get them for your vehicles and other items. I have an EMP Shield in my shop. I have one in the house. I have 5 of them protecting my solar panel system. I have one in each vehicle. I have one on my ham radio. I believe in the technology. It's been proven and tested. I have videos on that. You can look through my YouTube channel at ldsprepper.com and watch those videos with EMP Shield. I really emphasize the importance of getting an EMP Shield for your home and your vehicles. Why in your vehicles? So you can get home, so you can get back to your family. So please take a look at that. It's money well spent and sleepless nights that you don't have to worry about. A very believable and expected approach if there's another country attacking the United States is that they will launch an EMP and then a nuclear strike. So the EMP would take out the grid and everything else, and then we have a nuclear strike afterwards. So the nuclear strike may not affect you. You may be too far away, but an EMP will affect everybody in the United States. So please take a look at that. I forgot to grab my solar lamp. It's in my office. Sorry about that. Click on that link on the solar lamp. I really like this solar lamp, the one that I'm showing down here at the bottom, this one right here. The reason why I like this, and I bought several. I bought a whole bunch of them. I bought a lot of stuff. Our goal is to spend our money and our time to figure out what works and then share with you what does work, okay? We're not sharing with you all the stuff that gets sent to us that doesn't work, okay? We don't have that much time. But I really like this inflatable solar lamp for 2 reasons. You just stick it outside or put it in a window and it's going to charge itself. One thing that we notice very quickly when the electricity is out, and it's dark, you want to have light when you walk around, you go into the bathroom. And you want to be able to move around the house at night with the light. This will recharge itself automatically during the day. And it has a USB plug that you can charge up your cell phone and other devices. So I really like this particular one. There are others that I bought that were not as good. You also see down here this picture here with the solar panels. This is a solar charger. You may need to be able to charge. You may need to be charging some electronics. And this is a very small, compact, but accordion type. So you have 4 panels that open up and charge the battery that it's attached to. It's one of those little bricks. Sorry, it's been a busy day. I should have grabbed all my stuff, but it folds out and it's charging the battery that it's attached to, and you just fold the panels back up, and then you can plug your phone or whatever else that it is that you need to charge up, and get that being charged during the day, and then use that at night. The oven, the stove over here on the right-hand side, we have really, I did a lot of research and really, really liked the Englander brand. And I don't know why I don't have a link there. But anyway, their website, I think, is heatredefined.com. Something strange like that. I think it's heatredefined.com. And I particularly like their Englander brand of stove. What I think is very, very important, what we found here, we heat our entire house with the stove. We have a 1,200 cubic foot stove. I looked it up.
It's rated for 1,200.
It's rated for heat 1,200 cubic feet.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not 1,200 cubic feet
big. I don't know how big. That would be, we'd be warm. I don't think they make that model anymore, but I know that the models, they do make a 2,400. I do not recommend getting a pellet stove. All right, I just don't. It's a really expensive way to go. I'd recommend getting a wood stove if you can, and make sure that it has a blower on it. Not one of these non-electric fans that go on there. From my experience, that's just more of a gimmick than anything else. I spent $400 in those fans testing them, and they didn't move air. So your experience may be different, but I spent months testing them. So wood burning stove, critical if you're in a cold climate, of course. So again, these links are below this video. Let's move to the next one. You're going to lose all communications. And so you need to have a communication plan set up. I was just called to what's called in my church the Ward Emergency Communications Specialist. And we tested hundreds, about $1,200 worth of different radios. And the ones that I came down with, the ones that worked the best, in my opinion, are the very first one, the FRS radio, ldsprepper.com/FRS radio. That particular brand and model outperformed every other model regardless of what the price was. And this is just a family walkie-talkie. Communication is very, very important. We need to be connected to our friends and family. We need to be connected for service and in the community. So I recommend getting that radio. This particular radio comes with two radios. It comes with a charger, batteries, a headset. It's a complete set. If you want to move up to a ham radio, a good entry-level ham radio, and I probably have 5 or 6 of these, is the Bofang ham radio. And this particular bundle, ldsprepper.com/ham radio bundle, has everything that I would buy already included in the package. It has the larger radio. Battery. What we found out in an emergency is that the batteries run out, and so you needed a larger battery. So that's why you'd want to have that solar charger, so you can charge up these batteries. If you don't have another way, which we'll talk some other ways. Another thing is the bivy stick. Now this may be new to you. This is great technology. I've got a link directly to the site, ldsprepper.com/bivy stick. This actually works on satellite. So if the cell phone towers are down because there's no power, or if there's an emergency and FEMA turns them off, like what happened in Houston, you can still communicate via texting with a bivy stick. It does not need cell phone service at all. It works with satellites. And these satellites are the military satellites that are EMP proof and designed to stay up there when the other satellites are not there. So those 3 options for communications is very important. Please make sure that you have a communication plan set up. And remember, the power is going to come back on. So even if there is a cyber attack, it will come back on. It may be weeks, it may be months, but the power will come back on. So you don't want your appliances destroyed because you don't have an EMP shield on your house and the surge came through and burned everything out, or you got hit by a lightning strike or so forth. You can still, when power comes back on, or if you have other sources of power, which we'll discuss in a second, you want those appliances working. You want to be able to communicate with friends and family. I have some dear friends here in town, and they have family all over Western United States, and they're concerned about how do I communicate with my kids and my grandkids. We looked at FRS radios. They had somebody come in and talk to them about FRS radios. They talked to them about GMRS radios. They talked to them about ham radios. None of those solutions worked, but the Bivy stick does. So take a look at that. I think you get the Bivy stick free, and it's like $59 a month for the service. There's different packages. Just go take a look at it. I'm just recommending what I would use and what I own. Okay. All right. So let's talk about power. What happens now? We were in Texas when the power went out. Somehow the gas station, or at least one of the gas stations, had electricity to pump gas. And so I remember our niece, is Wendy my niece? Mm-hmm. She, excuse me. I've been filling orders for micronutrients, and I'm still got a little bit dust on me. She sat in the gas line, what was it, 8 hours? It was at least 8 hours. At least 8 hours in the gas line. And she had like 4 or 5 5-gallon gas cans. And this is no exaggeration. She pulled up and they ran out of gas. She sat there literally all day. They said, hopefully we'll have some tomorrow. So the first thing in the morning, she was up and one of the first in line and did get some gas the next day. You don't know when you're going to be able to get gasoline. So store gasoline and do it safely. Do not store it inside your garage. If it's an attached garage, store it outside. I've purchased a 1,000-gallon gas storage tank, and we've got 1,000 gallons of gasoline here under heavy guard and security and so forth. But because I understand people are already stealing gasoline, and we're not even in a crisis yet. So store gas as much as you can, and realize that you're going to be not being as mobile with your vehicles as normal because there's nowhere to go. Okay, you're not going to the stores, you're not going to work, you're going to be home a lot. Propane, we've got a couple 1,000 gallons of propane buried, and if you're in an apartment or you're renting, you can get the propane containers. Those are perfectly safe to store in your house, in your apartment. So don't worry about that. I would not store gasoline in the apartment at all. But propane is safe to store in the apartment. It is not safe to use on a camp stove in an apartment. But yes, you can have propane and go outside on your balcony and use that. So let's talk about ways to generate electricity. These are my 3 favorite solutions, and I'll tell you why each of those are on this list, and there aren't any others. The first one is the dual fuel inverter. Now, when we were in Houston, we were on city water and natural gas provided by our utility company. And I had a regular generator. It's one of my very first videos I put up on my YouTube channel. And I bought a conversion kit, and I have a video I just updated on that. And so we had natural gas that we could, had I got the converter before hurricane, I had a dual fuel generator. Had a generator that I was converting to dual fuel, but didn't get the converter yet. So we were running off gasoline. But having a dual, so now it's a tri-fuel, okay? So I can run natural gas, propane, or gasoline in that generator because I got the kit and I installed it. So having propane, it burns cleaner, has a little bit less BTU energy than gasoline, but you can store lots and lots of propane very, very safely. And propane is less expensive than gasoline. At least it is where I am. So you can get the camping size. You can get the 30-gallon, or I don't know what the different sizes are. You can get
tanks.
You can get 500-gallon tanks, 150-gallon tanks. We got a couple 1,000-gallon tanks here. So it's a good way to store energy, store fuel. I like this particular inverter. It's very, very quiet. Not only can you use gasoline or propane or natural gas, but it's very, very quiet. I actually have tried to start a Yamaha one twice, and it was already running. It was so quiet. I didn't even know it was running. I pulled the chain, and it was already running. I like this because it is only 4,400 maximum watts. I think normally it's 3,200 on the run, but it has a spike of 4,400 watts. And I like that because it's going to conserve you fuel. And fuel is going to be at a premium when the grid is down. So the dual fuel inverter versus the tri-fuel generator is going to use maybe half or a third of the amount of fuel as the larger generator. So I really like the quiet, the compactness, and how little of fuel it takes. Now, I have a 5,000 watt generator, and I mentioned that we were trying to share the power with our neighbors, and they weren't taking it. And once they did take it, we literally ran our house full blown, no restrictions, as normal, and for my other neighbor's home on a 5,000 watt generator. We had some restrictions where they weren't running the house full blown. They had the refrigerator, they had a fan, they could charge the cell phone, they had a TV,
light,
and a light bulb. Okay, that was it. So the bigger the generator power, the wattage, the more fuel it's going to take. Just think of a little 4-cylinder car sitting next to an 8-cylinder car, and they're both idling. The 8-cylinder car is going to run out of fuel twice as fast as the 4-cylinder car. Now, if you need the extra power, then I would recommend the Furman tri-fuel generator. That'll take propane, natural gas, or gasoline, and that'll give you 7,900 or working watts, or over 8,000 peak watts. But it's going to electric start. You can see the battery here, right here. These are both at Costco. I don't think they're in the stores. I think you have to buy them on Costco, and that's where those links go. The third one is the solar generator. Now, when I was running my generator after Hurricane Ike, you could hear it for miles because there was no other sound. There weren't car sounds. There wasn't bus sounds. There wasn't, the typical traffic on the road. And I was running a generator, and you could hear it everywhere. So you got to make sure you have a good sturdy chain and lock so that your generator doesn't grow legs, but everybody can hear it. With the Titan solar generator over here on the right-hand side, ldsprepper.com/Titan, is perfectly quiet. No sound at all. And this has the bottom portion down here is a battery, and you can stack 10 batteries on there, or 20. I don't know if there's a limit, but there's a lot of batteries, a lot of batteries. Out of all the portable solar generators we've tested, absolutely hands down, no question, this is number one. Most reliable, most expandable, the fastest charging, the highest storage, without a question. 0.0 Titan number one. If you're going to get a portable generator, this is the one. And you can still use it camping, and you can use it RVing, and you can use it ice fishing, and you can use it tailgating, and you can use it whatever. But in an emergency, you're making power from the sun, and you're not making any noise. Okay, so you can literally run your entire house off of this electric generator. Now, a good combination would be this, because you may be, like we were in California, the grid was down in winter, and we were in a snowstorm. So if you have this small dual fuel inverter, the image here on the left, and the Titan, if you don't have sun power, UV light to charge up the Titan with the solar panels, you can quickly, in just a couple of hours, recharge that Titan with the Furman dual fuel inverter while you're running your house. And then you have all that stored power in the Titan to run everything overnight. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on what you can do for power. Let's talk about cash registers. We mentioned that the HEB store, grocery store next to us, literally locked their doors and nobody came to work for 2 weeks. Please listen to me. It is absolutely critical that you get some food storage right now. This would be one of the highest priorities on my list right now. Food prices are going up and up and up. I just ordered a t-shirt. You remember what it said on the t-shirt?
No, I don't.
Normal's not coming back, but Jesus is. And I don't wear t-shirts. I'm not a t-shirt guy. I don't wear things on my t-shirt. But that is the most concise thing I've ever seen in the situation we're in right now. Normal's not coming back, but Jesus is. So we need to be prepared for when Jesus comes back. So spiritual preparedness is the most important. But we need to be able to live long enough to meet him when he comes back. So I don't think he wants us to throw our hands up and say, I give up. Beans, rice, pasta. I didn't put wheat in there because I don't think people in an emergency know what to do with wheat, and I think it becomes dangerous. If you're not cooking with wheat, if you're not baking with wheat now, although it's our backbone staple, a grain, we use it all the time. We both had wheat bread for toast this morning that our kind neighbor Julie brought to us. But I would definitely get beans, rice, and pasta right now. You want to get something to put on it, so that's why I put canned meat. Canned meat will stay a long time. Get them while they're available. Forget what it costs. It costs what it does, but it's available. Okay? When it doesn't become available, then you're going to be having a real crisis. And the grid may be down for months, not days or weeks, months. In a nuclear attack, it may be down for years. So now you have your beans, rice, and pasta. Put them in 5-gallon buckets, okay? Don't worry about long-term food storage. I am telling you, you do not need to be spending your money on 25-year food storage. You'll be needing this food storage in the next 2 to 3 years. Get just rice, beans, pasta, whatever else you want to get, and don't worry about all that crazy, expensive, long-term food storage.
You're talking like freeze-dried meals.
Right. Okay. It'll cost you 10 times as much as going down to Walmart or Costco or Sam's Club or wherever you were at a store today. What was that? Winco. Go get this in bulk. Now, right now, already, they are limiting number of purchases per day on these items. Even dog food, they're limiting you 1 bag of dog food a day. It's getting bad. Get prepared. You need at least a year's supply of food. Get some canned meat. What else would you throw in with the groceries there?
Oats. For breakfast. Sure. Oats or cream of wheat or, whatever your hot breakfast cereal preference is. Oats are very cheap. Hot cereals are less expensive than your boxed cereals. Get some powdered milk.
Can you get powdered? Where do you get powdered milk? Do you know where you can buy powdered milk?
You can buy it at the grocery store. It comes in boxes.
Oh,
we have it in number 10 cans, but you can get it in boxes.
Please get this. I'm just telling you, you're going to need this.
Get a little bit of sugar. That lasts a long time. A little sugar helps the boring stuff go down a little bit better.
I'll tell you what, but if all you have is rice, beans, and pasta,
you'll survive.
Yeah. Get what you need for at least a year, and if you need to stagger that over a few months to do that, that's fine, but please get your food storage now.
Get some canned vegetables.
Okay.
Sauces.
And then you're going to need to be able to cook that. Now, the reason why I mentioned beans, rice, and pasta, because it's easy to prepare.
Yeah.
Pretty much you're heating water and you're cooking those items. Okay. Now you may not have electricity, you may not have gas to run to cook on, and that's why I recommend the butane stove right here. This is the exact model that we used for 6 months. You want to share our experience with that?
So when I gutted the kitchen to put in new cabinets and new flooring, the refrigerator was gone, the stove was gone, dishwasher was gone, microwave was gone. So I cooked for 6 months in our laundry room on a little table. It's about 18 inches deep and maybe 30 inches wide. Butane burner. That's what I used for my kitchen.
I've got half of you there. Oh, there we go. That
So,
works. 6 months. 6 months. And it worked fine. Do you have any idea how many cans you went through in 6 months?
Not as many as I thought we would.
I thought we'd go through dozens. It's the most expensive cooking fuel you can buy on the planet, but we didn't use very much. Because you're not baking, you're just heating, basically you're heating up things and cooking that way.
Yeah, one pot meals.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you're looking at.
Yep.
One pot meals.
Okay, so highly recommend that. Really, you just need to kind of pretend you're camping out. Solar oven, I have cooked countless of meals in solar oven. Go to ldsprepper.com/sunoven. And I have cooked meals when it was below freezing outside in winter. I think it was February here in Shelley, Idaho. You have a clear sunny day and you are cooking. It typically takes maybe twice as long to cook if you've got clear sun, but you can still cook and you're not using any energy. You're not using up any butane. Why use the butane when and here you can actually be baking. You could bake bread. You could make cookies.
If you've got the ingredients in storage.
Casseroles. Yeah, if you have the food storage, please get the food storage, okay? And you need to get control. I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to help. Please grow a vegetable garden, and grow a vegetable garden as if your life depends on it. You can go to ldsprepperstore.com and get the micronutrient mix that you can see over here and the Midnight Gardening Course book. If you've never grown before, you will be an instant great gardener, and you will have all the nutrients that your plants need to be healthy and for you to get those nutrients from the plants so you can eat. If you're just giving them manures and compost and so forth, you have no control, no idea what nutrients are in there or are not in there. With the Midnighter Gardening Course book, it'll walk you through step by step how to set up a garden, how to plant, how deep, how far apart to plant the seeds, when to harvest, all these things, how often to feed, and the LDS Premium Micronutrient Mix will give you all the nutrients you need mixed with the macronutrients that you get locally. Fertilizer costs are going up. Get it stocked on hand. People say, well, what are you going to do when you run out? Well, there's Plan B. Plan B is in the book, but the whole point is not to run out. So get what you need. If you order 8 or more micronutrients and anywhere in the United States, I pay for the shipping. I've been paying over $1,000 a day in the last week, over $1,000 a day every day for shipping out of my pocket, because people are ordering 8 and 16 and 32 and 24 bags of micronutrients, and I'm glad to do that. I'm here to do this to help, and you need to get control of your food so that you can subsidize your beans, rice, and pasta. Wouldn't it be great to have fresh carrots in your beans and your rice, and fresh potatoes and so forth?
Yeah, or just to eat carrots.
Or eat the carrots and tomatoes. And I just planted watermelon and cantaloupe and honeydew and cucumbers and
broccoli and cauliflower and
cabbage and tomatoes yesterday. Okay, so please grow your garden. And of course, if you need heirloom seeds, they're at ldsprepperstore.com. So please go take a look at that. All right, the internet goes down because there's no electricity. Do you have books? If I would have taken a picture of my wife's bookshelves, you'd be impressed. She has a whole array of...
I have a library.
She literally has a library in her office. And she will read 3 or 4 or 5 books. She has 3 or 4 or 5 books.
I read
on her bedstand.
4 or 5 books at a time. I just, whatever I feel like reading that night, light reading, something educational.
So what we're doing right now is she's going through and she's digitizing a lot of our paper items. But you need to make sure that you have physical printed records for anything that you own, your vehicles, your deed, your birth certificates, copies of your passport, any your
all your
medical
important documents.
Important documents. Please get those in hard copies, and keep those where you can get to them, because you will need those if the grid is down and you go to a hospital. They need to know your medical information. So please make sure you have that taken care of. Water, okay? Sanitation. More people die every single day from dirty water. Literally, dirty water is the #1 killer on the planet. So please, this is a very, very high priority. We've had lots of camping toilets, and I like this one a lot. You can see it collapses down, and hopefully you can see my mouse move. But you can see that the whole toilet collapses down inside of the lid of the toilet. But it's a big circle toilet, so it's sturdy. It's not 4 legs sticking on the, sticking. You sit on it,
or a cardboard box with 5-gallon bucket in the middle.
We did that. We're not telling you. We're not trying to tell you what we did and didn't work. We're trying to show you what does work. Okay. So I like this. Get whatever works for you. It makes sense. Now you may be camping at your home, which is probably the most likely situation. So you may just be taking garbage bags and putting them in your toilet. You're going to drain the water out, okay? And you'd have the bags in there, and you'd be going to the bathroom in the bags in your toilet. And then you would throw some cat litter in there. I prefer sawdust because it's light and easy. You start putting cat litter in there, those bags get pretty heavy. So make sure you've got something to put in your camping toilet when you're using it, and you need to empty it. I tell you what, you do not want to not be thinking that's a lot of knots. I encourage you to think about your sanitation and your bodily waste and what you're going to do about it if you do not have water. That was a huge, huge issue in Texas for 2 weeks for people who didn't have any water. What did they couldn't flush their toilet. They had one flush, and that was it. And that's why I recommend the water bob. This water bob will hold 100 gallons. You just put it in your bathtub, fill it up with water if you feel that there's an emergency coming and you have a chance to fill this up. And you'll store 100 gallons of water in your bathtub, and it has a self-made pump right on it. That's 100 gallons of water that you can be using for cleaning, for cooking. It's completely sanitized because it's coming out of the faucet, and it's in a sealed bag. And you can use it if you needed to flush toilets, but I would try to use river water or pool water, something else. Water bob, I'd get 2 or 3 or 4 of them, because if you got a couple bathtubs, you can fill them both up at the same time. What can I say? I can't say enough about being able to purify water. Berkey water filters. Please make sure you have the ability to filter water. You may not have enough stored water, but you can go to a swimming pool, a creek, a river, any water source other than salt water, and run it through your non-electric, gravity-fed Berkey water filter. It will remove radiation, parasites, pharmaceuticals, pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals. It is absolutely the best product on the market. We use it for our family. My mother has it. My sister has it. My brother has it. My kids have it. My son, my daughter, sons and daughter. We just really believe in this product. Please, you can get it at ldsprepperstore.com. Get your Berkey water filter as soon as possible and start using it. Okay, you know what happened is when the power goes down, the guys don't know what to do because we don't go to work, and the women who go to work, I mean, then they're home with all the kids, and life really changes. It's not like the weekend. You're not going to baseball games and movies and soccer games with the kids. You're all home. Okay. So that's a big difference.
A lot of people across the country experience what this is like with the COVID lockdowns.
Yes, but with the COVID lockdowns, you had entertainment, you had the internet, you had Netflix and so forth, and you could.
True, but you're all.
But you're all home.
In close quarters.
Yes.
At home.
So imagine COVID lockdown.
Without electricity.
Oh, hopefully that doesn't get our video censored because we said the C word.
Uh-oh.
But at any rate, it is a completely different life experience. One of the biggest things that after 2 weeks of no electricity that the moms say was, yay, the kids can go back to school. Okay? And you have no income. You have no income. You have no way to access your money from the bank because the banks are closed. The ATMs are not going to work. Banks are not going to work or haven't worked. Okay.
Stores. There's nothing to buy.
So there's nothing to buy, and you're low on food, and you can't get money. Don't put yourself in that position, please. Prepare in advance. This is exactly. We're sharing with you exactly what happened in all those experiences where we lived through this. Okay, have some cash on hand, because you may just need to leave the area and go to another area that has electricity. That's what one of our neighbors did. He paid per hour what they typically charge per night in the hotel, so they could have some sleep and shower and so forth. So they were really getting gouged, but he needed the cash to do that. Gold and silver, you may want to have some of that. I tell you what the most valuable thing will be. It's food. It's going to be worth more than gold, more than silver, more than Bitcoin, more than anything is your ability to grow your own food is going to be invaluable. Invaluable. You'll be able to ask any price, okay? That will be money. So make sure you know how to print your own money or grow your own money. Can't grow a money tree, but you can grow carrots, okay? That's really important. You can do this. We have lived through these grid down situations multiple times in our lives, and we're still here, okay? Some of them have been just a few hours, some of them have been days, some of them have been weeks. But you can do this, but please take action now. Do it now so when it happens, it's just an event. When the grid went down in my cul-de-sac in Texas, it was an emergency for my neighbors. For us, it was just another day because we were prepared. We wanted to just be another day for you. Okay, so that's everything we have right now. We did it. Look at that. It's less than an hour. Amazing.
By a minute.
By a minute. And that's with all our bad, tech stuff. Oh, no. What did I do with the... Okay. The second, I need to find all your questions here. And let's see if they pop right back up. Okay, here they are. Okay, so what am I doing, honey?
You're touching something.
Yeah, this is a 63-year-old guy trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, we want to get to your questions. You know what? let me just do this.
Put us back on screen.
let's do this. Let's do, and let's just go see if we can find the video live and see the questions. Okay, so we're here at the top. I will close this so I can make sure that I'm not hiding anything. Are these all the questions? Okay. Jack, thank you for putting your question all in caps. Gasoline shelf life, unless you have gas stabilizer, at least a year. At least a year. I've used gas for longer than a year with no stabilizers in it and have not had no problem. I rotate my gas through all my vehicles and landscape equipment and so forth here, gardening equipment, and I have not had no problem for a year. Okay? I always trust the Lord God. That's how we have made it during outages here. Please do not put all capitals unless it's a question, but I do trust the Lord too. Thank you for your comment. Did you test the EcoFlow Delta Pro along with the Titan? Great question. The link that I sent you, ldsprepper.com/, you know what? Why don't I just go back here? Nope. Where do I want to go? I want to go over here. I want to make so that people feel like we're actually communicating with them. Come on. Oh, wrong one. I want to go. Let's go here. Okay. And go back over here. All right. The link I sent you, ldsprepper.com/Titan, will take you to my son's website, poweredportablesolar.com. And he has done an extensive review on that particular EcoFlow. And you could be able to see the comparison side by side on his charts there. So great question. Yes, a lot of money most of the people do not have. Yeah, well, you know, there was a time in our life where we ate food out of garbage cans, literally. And we have scrimped and saved and, you know, gone without for a long time. And because we knew that the sacrifice would be worth it. So I feel for everybody who does not have a lot of money, we have been there. We know exactly what you're going through.
Do what you can.
Do what you can. Right now, beans, rice, wheat, pasta, oats are inexpensive. They're
mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, yeah.
Mashed potato, flaked potatoes.
Yep. You or grow your own beans and potatoes. Okay, it's even cheaper. All right. Can you give a link for the Jesus Coming Back T-shirt? Yes. Just you can just search on your favorite search engine. Normal is not coming back, but Jesus is, and there's lots of different designs. I just got a real simple design, but yes, I will put a link to the one that I purchased. It's a great shirt. It's okay. So pasta has been hard to find in a lot of places. I'm glad I know how to make my own. Please don't capitalize comments. I know, and so is water filtration. Okay, what do you do for butter, ghee, vegetable shortening, honey?
I've got a lot of bottled butter in our food storage.
I will put a link down below to how to bottle butter. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most controversial videos we've ever put up. But it actually works, and yes, butter is getting very expensive right now. We don't make ghee, but we do have lots of stored butter. Can you do a lot with cornmeal? You can, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. David just bought the 4 Patriot solar generator. Is this one good? Go to ldsprepper.com/Titan and look at the comparison chart. And you'll be able to see what the real world test results were on that. I'm glad you bought a generator. And if you don't like it, you could always put it on Facebook Marketplace or somewhere. My husband is a trucker, and we know that this is coming. Bought a wood stove years ago. Very good. How about an electric burner and use the solar generator to run it? Great question. This is a great practical question. Someone's thinking through this process. Solar does really, really bad with cooling and heating. It just takes up a lot of power that you can be using for something else. Now, if you have a lot of stored power, then you're fine, okay? But I would rather be using the butane stove or the sun oven than using electricity that I got from solar when I need that for other things. I'd rather use that solar power to run the refrigerator, other essential items. So solar is really, really not a good source for heating or cooling. Let's see, I'm looking for some more. Rocket stove. I will put a link. I have a whole series on how to build a rocket stove. We built ours for absolutely free. Nothing didn't cost us a penny, and we have used it countless. I mean, I've lost count. And we've used it on a week-long trek. Sue cooked her breakfast every morning on that stove. Just literally picked up twigs. I will put. Can you put down, write some notes for me, honey? I need to put the video link to the how to make a rocket stove. What was the other? I mentioned a couple others I was going to mention too. I'm going to have to rewatch this to find out what I'm supposed to put a link on. But yes, you can get a number 10 can and make a rocket stove. It works great. You need at least 3 sources for alternative cooking: rocket stove, butane stove, solar oven. That is our 3 sources. Thank you for mentioning that. If you're going to use propane, use a propane cooking stove. I recommend Coleman. Do not use that in the house, and do not use your barbecue. My goodness, you'll run through fuel like it's water on a barbecue. Use a Coleman brand propane cooking stove to save energy for cooking. So our go-to is rocket stove, butane stove, solar oven. Those are our alternate ways of cooking. We do have a propane gas oven and stove here, so we're actually okay. Okay, love to see all the chatting here. Thank you very much. Put up a swimming pool ASAP after 24 hours. Okay, how do you sanitize the water, Bob, before using it for drinking? Great question. It's already sanitized. Don't need to worry about sanitizing the water, Bob. Excellent question. You unwrap it, put it underneath the spigot in the bathtub, the faucet, and turn it on. It'll be clean. You can drink right out of it. It is tap water, so I would still run it through a Berkey water filter because I don't like drinking pesticides and herbicides and pharmaceuticals. There's no water district that's required to remove those in anywhere in the United States. Those are in the water, okay? They're only putting chlorine and other things in there to kill the bacteria so their pipes don't clog up. All right, we love our Berkey, thank you. How do you store a Berkey filter after it's been used? Great question. We use our Berkey all the time. Constantly, it's being used. When we went to my father-in-law's house for 2 weeks, we were gone. We came back, put water back in the top of the Berkey, and it started filtering again. Okay? There's nothing special you need to do with the filters. If you know that you're putting it on the shelf, you use it for a family reunion, you're not going to be using it for a year. I don't know why you wouldn't be using your Berkey every day, but maybe you like drinking toxins. But if you're going to put it in long-term shelf storage, I would take the Berkey filters out, and I would get as much water as I could out of there, forcing air through it, kind of purging the water out of the filter. Let it sit out until it's air dry, and then put it in some plastic Ziploc bags, storage bags, because it is a filter and it will filter toxins out of the air even. So put it in a sealed bag and put it on the shelf. It has an indefinite shelf life. Unlike ceramic filters that don't. Once you get a ceramic filter wet, you've got 6 months. If you used it once, in 6 months, you still have to throw it away because you have the potential of growing bacteria inside of it. And I don't care what brand. Watch my video at ldsprepper.com about the difference between the Berkey black filter and the ceramic filter. It'll be an eye-opening for you. So you can go 2 weeks easy without using it, and it's perfectly fine. If you're going to do long storage, then kind of dry it out. Lots of batteries. I have a lot of rechargeable batteries. Of course, we're solar, so I can recharge those batteries, but we have a lot of batteries. Batteries are very important. Okay, oh, hopefully I didn't skip anybody. Where do you put the, okay, okay, oh, I do this. Where did it go? How do you, okay, there's the last question. Heirloom seeds will also be priceless. Yes, get your heirloom seeds. My supplier, I talked to him 2 days ago. They are filling our orders as fast as they can, which means you're getting the freshest seeds. Get them now. They are fresh, brand new this year seeds, so get them now and keep them in a dry, cool place, and they'll last you a minimum of 5 years. Our seed supplier has a 5-year guarantee on their seeds. Go to ldsprepperstore.com. Let's see, what brand of kerosene heater? I will put a link, please, thank you, to the kerosene heater that we have used for years. How long have we had that? We've had that for...
Since 1989.
89? How many years is that? That's 10, 20, 30, over 30 years? 35 years? 35 years.
No. 33, 32.
Almost as long as we've been married, honey. Almost. And it still works. Fires right up. Okay. I will put a link for the kerosene heater. If we live in Florida, what about no AC and mold?
Ooh.
Welcome to Florida. You know, it's hot and humid and you're going to get mold, but people have lived in hot and humid places for millennia and made it work. You've just got to make sure you have air moving through your house. Fans are not economical on energy. They're just not very good with energy use, but you may need to get some fans moving there. That's a very, very good question, Robin. Thank you. Where are you putting the added links? They're below this video. So below this video, right down here, click where it says show more or something like that, and you'll see those extra links. Let's see. Have you used the bottled butter after several years? Good question.
Yes, it was perfectly fine.
Just like the powdered milk that was after 15 years old, it was perfectly fine.
So yeah, when you heat it to bottle it, your milk solids are going to separate, but you just give it a stir. Open a bottle, give it a stir, and it works.
We have very old, way past expiration date almond milk. Was it almond milk?
No, rice milk.
Rice milk. That is completely separated. I put it in the Vitamix for a long time. And then it becomes less separated. And it works. So yes, things may not look the same, but they still could have the close to the same nutrient value. And of course, if anything that looks bad or smells bad, or you give it to your neighbor and it tastes bad, don't use it. How do you store yogurt without a fridge or for long-term storage?
Just make what you're going to use. I have yogurt in our food storage plan. So I make it the day before, the night before. And then we eat it the next day.
Yeah, we're eating it.
So
we need to let it cool off, but other than that, we're probably not eating it warm. I guess if you don't have a refrigerator, you're going to eat it warm. I used to make yogurt every single night and eat it the next evening for dinner.
Yeah, just make what you're going to eat, so you don't have to store extra.
Thank you, Valerie. The link for the canned butter video. How to store a meaningful amount of butane. They come in the self-contained bottles. You just buy as many bottles as you want, and just store them. All right, they're perfectly safe to store. Oh, how do we know how many? Okay.
Something about will an there it was.
Okay.
Will an EMP?
Will an EMP CME knock out a solar system? Great question, Forrest. And I see that we're got the little loop here, so hopefully we're good. So Forrest asks, what will an EMP CME knock out a solar system? I have two videos. Let's link the videos with my interviews with EMP Shield. But the answer to your question is the solar panels are perfectly fine. They will not damage the solar panels, but those solar panels act as a great big antenna for your house. So you need to make sure that you have the EMP shield on your house to protect your house from the EMP being literally funneled into your house wiring. If you do not have an EMP shield on your charge controller or inverters, they will burn out. That's why I have 5 charge controllers. The power comes from my solar panels into my charge controllers and then to my inverter. So my solar panels are fine, but I have an EMP shield on each one of my charge controllers. So those will be protected, and then my inverter is after the charge controllers, so they're protected. So it will destroy, an EMP or CME will destroy your inverter and your charge controllers, not your batteries, not your solar panels, unless you have an EMP shield. Please, ldsprepper.com/EMP shield, get them while they still have them. Okay, is your website down? No, my website is not down. Go to ldsprepperstore.com and I'll just check it here. ldsprepperstore.com, and it is still here. So I don't know if are we sharing the screen? I don't think we're sharing the screen. So yes, the store is up and running. All right, I love the questions here. Let's see, does the Berkey work with chloride pool water? Yes, if you watched, let's put another link to my extreme Berkey water filter test. If you watch my extreme Berkey water filter test, I actually take the water out of a chlorinated pool right after it was chlorinated. I mean, it was, you know, when you chlorinate it, you have that really strong smell in the air. That was still in the air. It was just minutes after my neighbor had chlorinated his pool. That's not the best way to do it. It's not recommended that way, but if you have a chlorinated pool, yes, you can absolutely use the Berkey to remove the chlorine. How do we know how much micronutrient packs to get for each seed vault? Great question. Difficult one to answer, but let me put it this way. One micronutrient pack, when mixed with the Epsom salts and the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all-purpose fertilizer that you get locally, will make 60 pounds of weekly feed. So you need 1 pound of weekly feed, plant food, per 30-foot long row of growing area in an 18-inch box. So you have an 18-inch box, 30 feet long, using the mid-ladder gardening method. You need 1 pound per week of gardening, and you make 60 pounds in one package. So if you had one 30-foot row with 2 rows of plants, one 30-foot growing area, 18 inches wide with 2 rows of plants, you'd need 1 pound per week. 1 bag of micronutrients makes 60 pounds of weekly feed. So that would last you 60 weeks. If you had 2 rows, 30 feet long, it'd last you 30 weeks. If you had 4 rows, it'd last you 15 weeks. So get what you need for this year, next year, whatever you need. My price went up 250%. I did not raise my price 250% because I need to get it to you. I need to make it affordable. But when I run out, we've already emptied 1 2,000-pound tote. We're already working. We've emptied 2 2,000-pound totes already. We're working on a 3rd one right now. When I run out of that mix, I have to replace it. I will have to raise my prices. So I'm still paying shipping when you order 8 or more right now. As long as I can still afford to do that, and you still get it at a reduced price compared to what it's going to be when I have to replace that. All right. Buffering, I'm sorry. Okay. We bought the Midlighter Gardening book and nutrients, but we don't understand what fertilizer to buy. Okay. Look at the package. On the package, it shows you can buy 13, 13, 13, 16, 16, 16, 15, 15, 15, 17, 17, 17, 19, 19, 19, anything between 13, 13, 13 or 19, 19, 19. I've actually used 11 and 11, 11 because I couldn't find anything more for a while, and then I found it. I had to drive 45 minutes to go get it, but then I bought a lot of it. So anything that has nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in a pretty close ratio, somewhere between 13, 13, 13 and 19, 19, 19, 19 typically. You'll get it at Walmart, you get it at Home Depot, you get it at Sam's. I haven't bought it at Sam's Club. Lowe's,
Home Depot.
Anywhere you get all-purpose fertilizer. Any nursery, plant nursery, that's where you're going to. New York State may have only 13, 13, 13, where Texas may have 17, 17, 17. Whatever you can get within that range. Can I get some water, please? It'll work. Mix the micronutrients with the other macronutrients, and your garden will be the best it has ever been.
Now you need to add some Epsom salts to that too. So, a bag of all-purpose fertilizer, which is about 25 pounds, 4 pounds of Epsom salts, and you're good. And the micronutrients, and you're good to go with your weekly feed.
Yep. Epsom salts is magnesium sulfate. I like buying my fertilizers at feed stores. Okay, go where the farmers and the ranchers go, because you're going to be buying it at a lot lower price than at a convenience store, big box store. Okay. Can you recommend a carbine trainer? I don't know what that means. Carbine trainer? You know what a carbine trainer is?
Is he talking about
firearms?
Yeah, firearms.
We have used Front Sight, but they've completely changed everything. We're not going back there any longer, so I don't have a recommendation. I would check with your local gun stores if you're looking for firearms training. Really recommend firearms training. We've got a lot. Let's see. Any suggestions for someone like me that's stuck living in Hawaii?
Oh.
Grow your own food.
Yeah.
Grow your own food. Everything in Hawaii is super expensive, but you can grow food like nobody's business. We visited my brother's house a couple times and friend's house in Hawaii, and you can literally just walk down the street and pick up food. It grows everywhere. So food will be worth more than gold, and I'm telling you that's the case. And okay. So if you have specific questions about living in Hawaii, that may help us more, but living in Hawaii is the same amount of preparation as living in New York, California, Texas, Idaho. You need the essential items. Is there something wrong with my screen? I can't see newly added links. Oh.
It wasn't in caps, the question.
Okay, just a second.
Oh. It skipped down?
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is all in caps. Okay.
Somebody asked if bottled butter is canned. It's in my bottled butter is in canning jars, but I don't can it in a canner. And the video shows how I did it, right?
Super easy.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah. CBS, how long does a black Berkey filter last? By the way, I am an authorized Berkey dealer. I have a LDS Prepper Store exclusive lifetime guarantee. So if you want to make sure you're getting authentic Berkey items, please order at ldsprepperstore.com. There are a lot of knockoffs out there right now because people are scurrying to get water filters. And I'm getting calls and emails and messages all the time that their filter isn't working, and I ask them where they bought it, and they bought it from a store that said Berkey, but it's not a real Berkey product, or they bought it on other stores. Buy it where you want, but I am an authorized Berkey dealer. You'll get an authentic Berkey product shipped directly from the manufacturer to you. There's no question that it's a Berkey product. How long does a one Berkey filter last? Well, they're sold in sets of 2. So we don't use typically one Berkey filter at a time. We typically use 2 or 4 or 6. We use 2. I mean, our system will hold more than 2, but we only use 2 because 2 is enough. I recommend getting 4. That way, if the grandkids knock the Berkey off the counter or something happens and those filters break, we have 2 more in the pantry. So I have some, 1 is none, 2 is 1. So to answer the question, with this, each individual filter will filter 3,000 gallons of water, purify it. But typically we use them as a set. So when you order them, you get 2 for $166 right now. And that's 2.5 cents per gallon. That's 6,000 gallons of water that it will filter for you. 6,000 gallons of any water you can throw at it, except for salt water, radiated water, water from, any source of water, but besides salt water. Let's put it that way. Don't want to get too gross here. Let's see. We're getting close down to the bottom here. Did it just skip? Yeah. Okay, we're getting close. Let's see. Millet in Mylar.
Millet in Mylar for quail? What feed crop would be best?
I don't understand the question. You understand?
Millet is a grain. In a Mylar bag to store for quail. What feed crop would be best? It's for quail.
So is he asking what kind of seed to grow to feed quail? Is that what he's asking?
I think he's asking about what grain to store for quail as a feed crop.
A crop means you're going to grow it, right?
What feed crop would be like wheat or oats?
What feed?
Yeah, what feed?
Okay. If you're asking what feed to feed your quail, I have videos on that, and I feed them, the chicks, the babies, I feed them a very high protein feed. It's like a turkey feed or something like that, something that was very high protein. I don't know the specific numbers right off my head. I'd have to run out to my metal trash cans where I have the food. And then when they get to laying age, so week 10, then I get them off of the high protein because they'll just get fat. And I get them onto a high calcium feed. So look at my videos on my quail and show you exactly the labels. I'm sorry, I don't know what they are off the top of my head because I'm just don't know the numbers. Does Berkey pure fuel pool water? Yes, you can use a Berkey to filter swimming pool water. Is there a natural organic all-purpose fertilizer that's above 10-10-10? No. There isn't, and many people over the last 12 years that I've been doing this, or a few, have tried to do an all-natural fertilizer, but the percentage of nutrients are so minuscule, it's just doesn't work, and it's beyond expensive. My wife worked so hard in her organic garden, and we were putting fish emulsion and seaweed extract and bone meal and just everything you bought worms and you put worms in there. What else you bought ladybugs and I mean it was, and we bought $1,000 soil, and it was so much more expensive and so much more work, and all the compost tea that you made compared to just taking the essential nutrients that all plants need, mixing it to a ratio that they need, and just giving it to them once a week using the LDS Prepper Premium Micronutrient Mix.
And these nutrients come from the rocks. They're natural.
100% natural.
They don't have to be organic. They're natural. They come from the earth.
Yes. Organic is a business. What are your thoughts on solar panels for homes? Love them. Love, love, love solar panels for home. Absolutely. We are completely off grid. We started with 5 kilowatts of solar panels. We are now at 16 kilowatts. I don't think we need more. I will be putting, I do want my shop where we do all the production for the micronutrients, the mag and everything there. I want that to be completely self-contained with solar. So I'll be putting solar on that. That's the plan also. But love solar, totally makes sense if you're trying to be prepared and you're doing it with a battery bank. To me, it's not interested. I'm not interested in saving money on electricity, although we've saved a lot of money on electricity, buying electricity, because we don't buy electricity, because we make our own. But for being prepared, I love solar, absolutely. I don't know why it keeps jumping. All right. Lots of chatting. Can you use the Mittlider method in green stock vertical planters? Yes. Great question. In the Mittlider Gardening Course book, I don't know which page it is, but under the seedling section, it shows you how to make the liquid fertilizer, and you can use that for hydroponics. So, yes, I know a lot of people who are using the Mittlider constant feed is what it's called. Constant feed, where you take, help me Sue, I'm not looking at the package. Is it a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons in 3 gallons of water?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons of weekly feed, 3 gallons of water.
Yeah, what we do is we have a Vitamix, and we take the weekly feed, we add some water into the Vitamix, we add the 2 tablespoons, we blend it to break it up, make it smaller, help it dissolve, then we put it into 3 gallons. So and there's even a recipe in there for making 55 gallons of constant feed in the book. So absolutely, you can use it in the Cracky system, hydroponic system. You can use it in other hydroponic systems. It works really, really well. Thank you for asking. Does solar panels for homes to heat an electric plus woods? Oh, we make so much electric power that we do use electric heat. We have electric heats in our offices, in our bedrooms, but we have a lot of solar power. So yes, and we have it banked. So yes, you can use solar power for heat if you're making enough, right? I mean, if you have enough, absolutely you can use it for heat. And we have solar power, and we have electric stove, wood stove. What was the other kind of stove did someone mention with the rocket stove? Rocket stove, solar oven, butane stove. Those are our 3 go-to stoves. Let's see. Okay, we are going to cut it off here in just a minute. Take the last few questions here. DC, get your Berkey filters now. Price has already gone from 120 to 166. Yeah, get them now. Everything's more expensive, less available. Okay, we are at the bottom, honey. Hour 35 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. If this information has been helpful, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Copy this link, share it on your social media. We are trying to help people get prepared as, I need to be looking up here, as much as possible. All these emergencies that we went through were not emergencies. They weren't. They were just events. And some of them were just fun because we made them fun with our young children. You don't have to be scared. Just get prepared. I should put that on a t-shirt. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Yeah. I do like the one, normal is not coming back, but Jesus is. That's a powerful message. What wheat grain grinder do you recommend? That's a great question. Glad you got that in right at the end. Best way to do laundry? That's another great question. Grids down. How do we do laundry? Let's answer the laundry question because we're set up, and let's answer the grain question.
So when we spent a week survival camping, I brought some, what are they, 20-gallon galvanized tubs, and I brought
the kind of galvanized tubs that you see in old Norman Rockwell paintings where the little kids are taking the Saturday night bath in.
Yeah. There's a plunger like thing. I don't remember what it's called.
I'll put a link.
So you fill your tub with water and soap, and you put your clothes in. You've got this plunger that acts as the agitator, and then I have a portable hand wringer that I run the clothes through to get the excess water out after I've rinsed. So you need to have a wash tub, you need to have a rinse tub, and then you run it through the wringer, and you're going to need some clothesline and clothespins.
Okay. Now tell him how Ben did laundry on his mission. So that's when you're prepared and you have money to do it. You buy the wringer and you buy the galvanized tub and the special plunger. But my son, who was on a church mission in Mexico for the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, didn't have that money, didn't have the funds, but they did their own laundry by...
They used a 5-gallon bucket, throw their batch of clothes into the bucket. They took a broom handle stick that they found, cut off the broom part so it was just the stick, and then they took an empty 2-liter pop bottle and cut off the bottom and attached the neck of the pop bottle to the stick, and that was their plunger. Duct tape, string, whatever.
Laundry on the cheap.
Yeah. And it worked.
And it works literally just as well.
Yeah.
Literally just as well, and it cost them nothing to do.
Just, scrounged for their supplies. Okay,
and then the other question was, what kind of wheat grinder? Can you see what it says on there?
That's a mock mill.
Oh.
The mock mill is really good. It's a stone grind, so it will grind your hard peas and legumes and corn and some of your larger dried items. I can't remember what I used for the wheat, but I can take a look and you can put it down below. Or do you want me to go look at it right now?
It's in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, yes, go. Isn't it? Yeah, Magic Mill. Is it Magic Mill?
It could be Magic Mill.
I think it's Magic Mill. It comes. We'll put a link in it down below for both of those, and then we also have a hand wheat grinder.
Oh yeah.
The number. Honest. The number one reason why we put it in solar is so I would not ever have to hand grind wheat. Okay, true story.
If you got a bunch of kids and they're fighting and have nothing better to do, give them some wheat to grind.
Or if you have hungry people wanting food.
Take all day.
Yeah, give them a wheat grinder. Okay.
Hook it up to a bicycle if you can.
Yeah, an e-bike. All right. Maybe if you can get hands on commercial salad spinners, can spin, cycle, drain.
For laundry?
Yeah. That would be an interesting video. All right. Thank you so much. We are going to let you go. Appreciate you. Let's share this with our neighbors so our community is prepared. Share it with your children, your grandchildren, your family, siblings. Let's get people having the foodstuffs they need. Get their houses protected from an EMP or from a power surge from the grid with an EMP shield. Water filters, the things that we mentioned. Get the water bob. Please go back through or just look at the links down below. Those are things that we own and we use, and that's why we recommend them, is because we know that we tested them, we use them, we trust them, and it'll just be an event, whatever it is. We've had many times here in Idaho where we've had snowstorms and windstorms where the power went out. And we didn't know until our neighbors called and said, do you have electricity? And we said, yeah, we have electricity because we have solar. So there may be many reasons why the grid goes down in addition to a cyber attack. But whatever it is, if you're prepared, it's just an event or a party, however it happens. Thanks so much. We love you. Remember, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. This is David Gilmore.
And Sue Gilmore, Mrs. LDS Prepper.
With a very, very important message. I almost forgot. You want to make this announcement here? Are you ready to make that announcement?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad. Thank you for staying. We have a very big announcement. So go ahead and tell them what you're doing here in a couple weeks.
So I've got three, maybe four herb garden tours calendared. I wanted to do the first one on April 9th.
And this is coming from a master herbalist. So she knows what she's talking about here.
So the focus of the garden tour is to be able to accurately identify what is coming up so that you know what is edible and useful medicinally and what is not. What are the lookalikes that you should not be harvesting. And so the garden tours are all free. If you're local, you can come in person. I will be doing a video of the tour so that if you're not local, you can participate through the video.
Will that be a live stream or a recording? I don't know. I don't think we can do a live stream outside. I don't think we have the internet bandwidth
to do it outside.
Yeah,
so it'll just be a video.
Yeah, I can video it for you.
So those garden tours are the second Saturday of each month. Maybe starting in April. There's not a whole lot up. It's just starting to warm up here, so the plants are just starting to poke up. There's not really anything to identify yet. We'll see in a week or so.
These herb walks are really, really, people who come are really excited. And the reason why she's doing them once a month for 3 months or so.
3 or 4 months, yeah.
Is because the plant looks completely different when it's just coming up, when it's a month old. And she talks about, are you harvesting the flowers? Are you harvesting the root? What to look for, how to identify it in your own property. They're great. So it doesn't cost you anything. How are they supposed to get a hold of you if they want to join the herb walk? Because they need information how to get here, directions.
Yeah, email me.
Okay. You want to give me your email address?
If you're interested in participating locally, shoot me an email at sue@ldsprepper.com.
It's SUE@ldsprepper.com.
So on the fourth Saturday of every month, starting in April and going through September, I will be doing herbal remedy making workshops. The first one is oil infusions, how to infuse herbs into oil and then turn those oils into salves and ointments and balms. Participants will be, it's a hands-on workshop, so you'll actually be making these remedies, and you will go home with 5 real remedies, not just little itty-bitty samples. And we're talking 4-ounce jars of these ointments.
What is it?
Or
is this one you're going to be making?
no,
or something like it. Okay, so this size is
that size jar.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And this is, you know, a 4-ounce glass bottle. So the oils are good for massaging into your skin. You know, oils or ointments both work effectively. So you'll go home with oils and ointments and boo-boo paste and burn paste, and I will be doing, and these are very easy to make. They're very economical, very cost effective to make your own. And I, at this particular workshop, will be demonstrating how you can use tinctures to make balms. A little bit trickier when you add an alcohol-based tincture to very hot oil. It kind of sizzles and it's kind of fun.
So they're asking, where does this happen?
So it will be here.
You need to tell them where here is. They don't know where we are in the world.
Here in Shelley, Idaho.
So southeast Idaho.
Southeast Idaho.
Just south of Idaho Falls.
So if you are local, you can registration information will be on LDS Prepper at the ldsprepperstore.com.
For what?
For the workshop.
And what about the herb walks?
Should we do registration?
No.
No?
The herb walks are at the same place.
Oh, okay.
The herb walks and the classes are all
right here
at our home in Shelley, Idaho. Okay, to register for the hands-on in-class herb
remedy making
workshop. And how many remedies are they going to be making?
5.
They'll be taking 5 home?
They'll be taking 5 home.
And how long is the class?
From 10 a.m. to noon.
Okay. And you can register. I'll put up a link where you can pay for the class at ldsprepperstore.com. Do you have the cost of the class?
So the workshop is $55 a person. That includes all of your supplies.
What if they want to attend virtually?
If you want to attend virtually, we'll be doing a Zoom. We'll be doing that by Zoom. So if you want to be a Zoom participant, the cost will be $30 a person. And I will send you a list of the supplies that you need to get so that you can be making the remedies at home along with us in person.
Will they be getting like recipes for these?
Yes. And we can put those on the store as a download, or
when they register, they can get the download for the recipes. And will you have links where they can purchase these items?
Yeah, I'll have sources.
Okay. So you can show up and be at here. What's the maximum number you can take?
Oh, good question. I'll be doing a morning workshop from 10 to noon, and then an afternoon workshop from 2 to 4. Just 8 people per workshop.
And that's on the fourth
Saturday of every month.
From which months?
April, May, June, July, August, and September.
Wow.
6 months.
Okay. And will it be the same items each class?
No, each class will be different.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
So this
I just live here, folks. Okay. This is news to me. Is why I'm asking all these questions. Okay.
So we'll be doing oil infusions, salves, and balms in April. I'll be doing a class on tinctures and liniments. I'll be doing a workshop on powders, pills, and electuaries. Electuaries are like herbal candies. That's a really fun one. Poultices, compresses. All of these workshops, the remedies, the recipes that we're making have a focus on first aid. So you can take these, put them in your first aid closet, put them in your first aid bag, put them in your bug out bag, that kind of thing. They're remedies that I've used, remedies that work, and have a first aid focus.
I use this one right here all the time. It's wonderful. Secret recipe.
Yeah.
Well, but what we will do is I'll put this on ldsprepperstore.com under the herb section, okay? And so people can register. How many people can you take per class though?
8.
8 per class.
At least for this first one.
Okay, so
if we're going to keep it to 2 hours, we can't have a huge room full of people. It takes all day.
Okay. So what I will do is I will send out an email to everybody who's made a purchase at ldsprepperstore.com so they know. And then we will post this video, just this section, as a new video on my YouTube channel to let people know. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the black bell button so you get notifications when we have these announcements and you can be the first to know. So subscribe down below, click subscribe, and then click the button so that it's black.
Do we need security clearance? You said your home site's very secure.
It is very secure. We know that you're coming before you're on the property, and you're coming by invitation and registration, so it's safe. And while you're here, it'll be perfectly safe. Absolutely. For those of you who aren't able to attend, you can purchase the Zoom call session, and it's happening live, and you'll have all the information you need to make those at home. And make sure you check out her herbal remedies reference manuals at ldsprepperstore.com. Amazing, amazing, amazing books on first aid. Another one on how to make herbal remedies. Another one how to find and understand and identify the herbal remedies. Another one on how to use herbs in cooking to get the nutrition from them. So even if you can't join the Zoom calls, classes, or be here in person, then you can still, our perimeter alarm just went off, you gotta go check that. You still get access to all those reference manuals on ldsprepperstore.com.
Okay.
Okay, so this is David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper, and
Sue Gilmore, also known as Mrs. LDS Prepper, and the Backyard Herbalist.
Okay, great. Reminding you, if you are prepared, you shall not fear, and
grow your own and make your own.
And you can do that with Sue in person at her classes. Guys, have a great time at the classes. Thanks for watching. Share this, like it, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Have another very important video I'm working on putting together on how to prepare for the next thing that we're preparing for. Guys, have a great evening. Bye. Let's see. I'm not turned off. We're still live. Let's get this old geezer here. How do I do this? Oh, here I am. End stream. Goodbye.